If you're starting dialysis or know someone who is, stop scrolling. These 7 things would have saved me pain, confusion, and fear when I started my journey. I want to tell you a little bit about myself. Welcome back to the channel, KT over VTV. And I'm your coach, consultant, teacher, and healer, KT, Khalil Thompson. I was born with PUV, posterior urethral valves, which caused a blockage in my penis and had urine backed up and destroyed one of my kidneys. It heavily damaged the other kidney, but I was grateful by the grace of God to be still born with that one kidney. I only had 12 years out of it. And of course, at the age of 12, I went on dialysis. I lost my kidney down. Actually, St. Christopher's Hospital had a camp called Camp Holiday Trails down in Virginia, where we went for 2 weeks. It was basically patients with heart issues, kidney issues, and other chronic illnesses, where we would go for 2 weeks and just have fun. We'll do, swimming, horseback riding, arts and crafts, hiking, and all sorts of fun things for kids. So, like I said, ironically, I lost my kidney there. I experienced a seizure, and because I was just a playful child and always, playing and comical when I was young, for a good about 5 minutes, people thought I was just playing. So when they realized I wasn't playing, I was sent down to the med corner where the nurses give the medicine, and I remember being in a dark room with a bunk bed and waking up and barely could walk. Like I said, by the grace of God, I was able to, actually like almost drag myself to the nurse's station. And the nurse happened to be on the phone with my mom, or I guess I asked to talk to my mother. And I remember my mother asking me, "What's wrong? What's wrong? What's happening? What's wrong?" And I just remember just be able to say, "Ma," like real, like faint. And, next thing I know, I was in a hospital. I was in a ambulance getting transported to the hospital. So I guess my mom threatened to sue. "You better do something, give my son some help or something." So, when I got to the hospital, of course, my family wound up coming down maybe like a day or two later. And, they explained to me that my kidney had failed on me and I would need hemodialysis, which is immediate dialysis. And I remember them asking me, did I want to get a helicopter back up to Philadelphia, And I said no. I just drove up with my cousin, her boyfriend, my mom and dad, and we drove back to Philadelphia. And where I was placed on dialysis at 12 years old. And I held that kidney. Well, I was only on dialysis for a year. You tend to get a kidney faster when you're a kid. And so I got trained. I went on July 1999, and it was almost year to date. I want to say it was about the 19th, like the 18th, 19th, 17th round those days. I went on dialysis in 1999, and about the same time in July of 2000, I got a transplant. So I was only on dialysis for a year. I held that kidney for 15 years. When I went back on when I was 28. Of course, I had a daughter at this point. I was grown, and things were different. So when I found out I had to go back on dialysis, which the good thing I can say about that is St. Christopher's, and as I was a kid going through it, really prepared me. Like I remember them telling me, Khalil, you can be on dialysis as an adult. So even though I was, upset and depressed and and just, mad, I still took myself to dialysis every day. I still went because I knew I was prepared at a younger age to know that I could potentially be on dialysis as a grown up. So I went back on at 28, which I experienced depression. It, I went to therapy and got diagnosed with mild depression and anxiety. I also, like I said, I had a daughter. So it was just a lot. It was just a lot. But like I said, I still went to dialysis every day and got my treatment. In the beginning, I wasn't on a transplant list, but then my mom wound up getting me having an intervention with me and my family or whatever, and something just clicked after that, and I just got back on the machine, and I got back on the list and did what I had to do to get a transplant. I was on for 7 years, and I got a kidney in June, my second kidney in June. So this the 12th of this month will be my 3-year anniversary. After I got the transplant, my second transplant, I went and became community college, had a dialysis tech program. I went there, got a job, and got certified, became a certified clinical hemodialysis technician, which I did. I started doing the same stuff that, putting patients on the machine like I was put on the machine. So my mission is to help dialysis warriors with this channel and with my book, because I understand what it's like being on that machine. I know sometimes we look at that machine as, the worst thing that could have happened to us. Or, you might look at, I didn't talk to patients, that can't stand the machine. And we have to understand that machine is our best friend. That machine is our best friend. That machine is keeping us alive. So my mission is to help dialysis patients, get more transplants, get you from your current situation to your desired situation, and that's through lifestyle, education, and then mindset. So I got seven things here that I wish I knew before I began dialysis. At least as an adult. One is dialysis. Dialysis is the end. It could be a new beginning. Dialysis is not the end, and it definitely could be a new beginning. I became an author. I started my YouTube channel, this channel. And it's a new beginning for me. So don't never think just because you're on the dialysis machine that is over for you, that you have no purpose. Because there's a lot of people out there that that you can inspire and help with your wisdom, with your experience. Number 2, mental health matters more than people tell you. Mental health definitely matters. It definitely matters. And, now that we're in Mental Health Month, Awareness Month, June, it's important to talk about. Like I said, when I went back on dialysis when I was 28 years old, I had to go get therapy. like I said, where I was diagnosed with mild depression and anxiety, and I had to take medicine and all those things for it. We have to get help mentally. You know, I recommend therapy. I definitely recommend therapy, especially just being, a black man, black woman. You know, get yourself some therapy because it's very important that you talk to somebody and get stuff off of you, especially stuff that not only dialysis, but stuff that from a young age, from the young age, because I had to live with this my entire life. So it's just, and being a young black man in a single parent home, all that I had to talk to somebody with. That's a lot of mental. So mental health definitely matters. Number 3, your clinic team can make or break your experience. This is so true. A friend of mine now is having a bad experience with his dialysis center, and dialysis it's even for the healthcare workers. It's hard because not all, but you have a lot of healthcare workers that that don't care, that just look at it as some money. Money isn't everything. I understand that. That's why I went back to become a certified clinical hemodialysis technician. But also, we need to live. We need to get paid right. And unfortunately, like many other companies out here in this country, they're not paying you anything how to live properly. So that's going to trickle down into the healthcare workers not giving their best, not caring so much. So your clinical team and those people around you can make or break you as a patient and your experience. I was fortunate enough to have a good experience with my team. I was at DaVita. I was at a DaVita in West Philadelphia, and that team was and my doctor, they were great. They were great. They took care of me, and I couldn't ask for more. Even my dialysis team when I was younger, they took care of me, and they really looked after me. Number 4, what you eat, drink, and think all play a role. This is very important. This goes to your lifestyle. You have to stay on your kidney friendly diet, which is, most dialysis patients are only allowed 32 ounces between treatments. They only allow 32 ounces between treatments, and a renal friendly diet, which consists of low sodium, low potassium, and low phosphorus foods, which a lot of foods on there, we're not, a lot of people aren't accustomed to eating or don't want to eat. And that can really, affect you in your mind, because you're playing against, when you're not following your diet and you're not following your fluid restriction, you're playing against the machine. See, the thing about the machine and your natural kidneys is, this is how special our kidneys are, our natural kidneys are in our bodies. Our natural kidneys not only, filter, and balance electrolytes and fluids and clean your blood and all that kind of stuff, but it takes on a lot of stress day to day that we just go through as people. But the machine isn't there to take on no stress. The machine is only there to do its job, to do the few functions that it's allowed to do. It's not there to take on the stresses of life. That's not its job. So it's very important that you stay on your fluid restriction and on your diet, because it affects you mentally and how you think. If you always, over your fluid limits, or your potassium, your phosphorus, your sodium is always high, then that's going to affect how you view dialysis. I don't want to be there. It's going to make it miserable and long. And that's one thing as dialysis patients we don't want to do. We don't want to have a miserable journey on a machine. Number 5, your body may change, but your purpose won't. Your body's definitely going to go through changes. I was on a machine, I had lack of appetite. I didn't really have an appetite, so I lost weight. You're going to have surgery on your arms, whether you get a graft, whether you have a fistula, a catheter. You're going to have some surgery done on your body, in your arms, and your arms usually with fistulas, you have a whole bunch of bumps on your arms, and you could get aneurysms and all that kind of stuff on your arms to make your arms look ugly, and you not wanting to be you'll feel embarrassed about your arm, about people seeing your arm, and you might have people looking at it like, what's wrong with your arm and stuff like that. So you're gonna have a lot of stuff on your body physically that you're not gonna like. But one thing you have to understand is your purpose won't change. Your purpose is to get a transplant. Your purpose, some people's purpose is to live out their days as peaceful, as possible on that machine. So you can't let your physical appearance stray you away from your purpose. Number 6, community will keep you alive. So find your tribe. Whether, it's a channel like mine's, whether you got family, whether it's, you might have a few people and a few patients in dialysis. This goes back to number 3 about your clinic, whether you have, the nurses, the dietitians, that's your tribe. That's what's going to keep you going and keep you alive. With different patients, talk, because as patients, we go through the same stuff. So when you talk to different patients about their issues, you listen to them, speak about their issues, you speak to them about your issues. That'll help you keep you alive. I promise you it will. Because you'll understand that you're not the only one that's going through this. And in a lot of ways, it'll humble you. Number 7, you have power in your decision. Never forget that. Never forget you got, power in decision, whether you want a kidney or you don't want a kidney. I remember a lady when I was on dialysis, my second time on dialysis. She didn't want a kidney. I just didn't understand why until she said, get that kidney. I lived my life. I did what I had to do. Get that kidney to somebody that can use it. And that made me totally look at things different, that lady different, and, people's decisions different. because she decided, that she didn't want a transplant. And it's a lot of, people on dialysis that feel that way, especially older people. I remember when I was on dialysis, like I just said before, my decision, when it clicked in me to get back on that transplant list, your decision is powerful, and it can make or break, your journey on dialysis. You're not just a patient. You're a fighter, a survivor, and a leader in your own healing story. So never forget that you matter. Never forget that your mindset is important in your day-to-day, interactions and journeys and kidney disease, with your kidney disease, with ESRD, and stage renal disease. To all dialysis patients, stay strong. When God takes stuff away from us, he's definitely going to replace it with something. He doesn't take stuff away from us and don't replace it. So understand that and keep the faith. To all the healthcare workers, stay strong. I know everything. I know times is rough right now, and we have a lot of things going on in the world, far as bills, just inflations and things with our government. But always come to work with an open heart and an open mind, and caring. If you like this video, you found it interesting, you got any lessons, anything out of it positive, just like, comment, and subscribe. It'll definitely help my channel grow. And I want to say, go check out my book, Reorganization, Transformation, and Transplantation. It's gonna be available in the link in the description. It's a guide to transforming lifestyle, education, and mindset for dialysis patients. And like this video, comment, please leave a comment, because I read comments, and subscribe to the channel. I want to say thank you, and God bless you. Amen.